Hey guys, Sophia here with Turquoise Toffee, and this is my recap of week 8 of my road to the Olympia Amateur Bikini Competition 2023. So this week was really good in terms of the prep. There were no changes necessary at all to my programming. Cardio, weights, macros, it all just stayed the same. My body is responding beautifully to the program. Metabolism is working exactly as it should be, and we are definitely right on track. And in fact, I'm noticing now in the fit of my clothing, I'm starting to get very narrow. Like I can feel the hip bones. There's a lot more veins showing. Definitely there's some physical progress that I'm noticing. Maybe a little bit more sunken in the face, but that's okay. So it's nice to see that we are getting closer and everything is progressing right on track. I mentioned in my last video that the kids went back to school. Well, of course that meant that we all came down with the flu, like 3 days later. So that was a little bit of a detour. However, I didn't get hit too hard. I was able to still do my workouts. I got my cardio, my steps, all my food. Everything was okay. So it was a little bit harder for some of the other people in the family, and I definitely had some mom duties to take care of. But at the end of the day, I still did all right with prep and navigating being a little bit under the weather. At worst, during my workout, I was just really cold, had the chills, but I was still able to push through. Speaking of workouts, I figured that since I'm still feeling strong, I'm not having to deload or really drag my feet while I'm exercising, that now is as good a time as ever to take you down to the basement and let you see our home gym, and also bring you along with me while I do my workouts. So for now, a typical week for me is 6 days of cardio and 4 days of weights. And I have 2 upper body workouts and 2 lower body workouts. So I have everything I need here in the basement to be able to get those done. And it's really quite awesome to have such a great home gym. So here we go. Hey guys, it's Sunday morning, it's check-in day, and normally I would just come into the basement and do my photos, but this week my coach wants me to take my progress pictures outside, or at the very least near a window with some nice sunshine so she can see everything. And it is way too early for that. So I figured since I'm awake anyway, the kids are all asleep, the house is quiet, I'm going to show you my basement gym. All right, so beginning with our little trophy area. Some of them are from bodybuilding, my husband, myself, as well as some old Highland dancing trophies. We've got our medals from our shows. I've got my old Highland dance competition stuff. And then on the shelf, we've got some classic bodybuilding books, old magazines, Muscle and Fitness, Oxygen. I've got some yoga stuff. My posing shoes are back there. We've got the classic Carmen Electra strip aerobics, everything you need. Then we turn the corner and we are into the gym. So I finally got the photos up of all my competitions that I've been doing recently, and it's really cool to see the difference between my most recent show and my very first show 10 years ago. Wow. We've got a nice little board that we fill with motivational quotes for each other, my husband and I, and then we've got all kinds of weights. So there's some power blocks, kettlebell. This was a gift I got my husband for our iron anniversary. He collects gym equipment, whereas I collect vintage milk glass and lady head vases and antique things, dishes. He collects gym stuff. Lots of dumbbells. Of course, we've got our plates, couple different varieties of bars, and then we've got a nice good old squat rack. And up there we also have a TRX and some those hanging ab things. You see them. This is perhaps the coolest part of the whole gym, is all of the IFBB pros or just, really exceptional athletes that I've managed to meet over the years. Often my husband is with me too, so I have some pictures with quite a few of these amazing people. And I don't know, I just feel so lucky not only to have a wall like this of people that I've met, people that inspire me, people that are really exceptional at what they do, but also I consider some of these people, even friends. So pretty neat, pretty awesome. And can't wait to fill up the whole entire wall after Olympia. It'll have to go around the whole corner. And on this side are photos of the competitions my husband and I have done together. So over the last decade, we've done only a handful, but it's been pretty special to have this hobby that we do together. Now we're entering the rest of the gym. So we've got all kinds of stuff for yoga, bands, all of the little extra equipment that you need now and again. Also some Highland dancing stuff mixed in, a plyo box. I've got my posing suits. And then over here, this is actually where the Turquoise Toffee video recap magic happens. I always have a heater on next to me, and we're trying to figure out right now computer upgrading and making sure that I have all the processing power I need to make videos. We've got a few more accessories in here. This is usually, we've got an ab wheel, another ab wheel, power wheel. I think that one, the big guy, a couple balls. Over here we have a nice back extension, tricep bench, attachment to be able to do curls and leg extensions, some puzzle piece mats for the floor, and then every now and then you need a good belt. So I just use my husband's belt. I'm on the tiniest hole right now. Then there's all kinds of other, a wobble board. There's a weighted vest down there. A pad for doing glute thrusts. Then, of course, every home gym is not complete without a dance bar. This is for all that Highland dance practice I tell you about. And, of course, chairs for your kids, so that when they come in at the crack of dawn, when they should be sleeping, they've got some blankets and chairs to sit on to watch TV. And we do have a nice TV right in the corner. So we've got a leg press hack squat machine here. Converts. You just move the bottom piece back and forth, and you can move this up and down, and then you get a completely new exercise. This is just kind of where we store the tripods and ring lights. And then we've got a couple different cardio options. I'm in the back on the treadmill. You can see my table that I've created. I can watch something or listen at the very least. And then we've got a nice recumbent bike over there. There's also a spin bike that we can pull out if we need to. Another little area for my kids to watch TV. And then over here, I put up a black curtain. We've been experimenting with having a black background for our check-in photos, but this is it. I just turn on that heater there on the floor, pull out the ring light. There's a little mirror, and this is typically where the posing magic happens. And that is it. That concludes the gym. It is, I think, pretty awesome for a home gym, but the only thing it's missing really, a glute thrust machine. We'll get there one day. So this is where I spend a lot of my time. And aside from being a bit cold, otherwise it's pretty spectacular. I feel very fortunate that I'm able to get everything done that I have to do for bodybuilding at home in my basement. I don't need to pay for a babysitter. I don't need to leave and get dressed up or put on makeup. I can come down literally in my pajamas and walk on the treadmill if I have to, with no shoes on. Okay, let's get to the workouts, starting with lower body. So I do have to do a bit of arranging to get myself into the leg press machine. I'm a bit too short, so it bottoms out, but I just use the aerobics bench, a gym mat, and a pillow, and I can get it to work. My glutes just kind of hover. I have to hold on to the rails to keep myself where I need to be, but it's fine. I also really try to isolate the glutes, so I'm pushing on my heels. Sometimes my toes even come right up, just so that I can really work on glutes. I like step-ups a lot. I think there's so many different ways you can progress. You can change the height of your block, different weights, different angles. I'm really leaning forward here and pushing through the heel to try to engage the glutes. Hip thrusts are not my favorite. I don't like having a big barbell across my pelvis. It just hurts, it creates bruising. So definitely trying out the loop bands and high reps to really feel the burn. It still hits the glutes and it works, so why not? And then of course, sumo squats, so good. Typically I do these barefoot. I definitely lean forward a little bit to try to take the quads out and to really focus the mind muscle connection on the back of my legs and the glutes. And I try to be nice and slow and really squeeze and isolate. Then of course there's all kinds of band work. We've got a whole variety of colors and strengths, and I do play around with how far away I stand just to try to create more or less tension depending on the exercise. As far as these kickbacks here are concerned, I'm standing pretty far away, and I think it's probably time that I just go up to the next color and really push it. And timing. I always time my rests so that I don't procrastinate. Okay, upper body workout. I really like working my upper body. I love feeling the shakes. I love pushing it to the limit where you think you can't go any further. In my mind, my bench press is super heavy, but I know I'm still a baby. Incline bench presses, love doing those as well. I find you really feel it in your armpits. This was that day that I wasn't feeling particularly well. I've got the sweatpants on, double socks, but still made it happen. Shoulders in particular are a favorite of mine to train. I just find that you can really isolate the delts. I feel them, I know that they're working, they burn, and I can really push myself to go beyond what I think I can do. I get to that point where I'm shaking, one arm stops working, and if I just power through, I can usually get one more rep out, which is the best feeling ever. Shoulder presses in particular are awesome. I feel like I can lift pretty heavy here, and it just feels amazing. Sometimes I sit, sometimes I stand, but overall, a shoulder press is definitely a favorite. And like I said, I do always time my rests so that I keep it consistent, but that is another way to progress. If I can't lift heavier, I can make my breaks shorter. Lat raises, I'm not quite as strong. I can't lift as heavy as a press, but I do my best, and I always try not to bend my knees too much. I really do try to hold still and just use my shoulders, despite how challenging it is. And then of course you still have to work the rest of the arms. I know it's bikini and it's all about the delts and the glutes, but I like it when there's a lot of beautiful shape to the arm, and proportions matter. So I still work the biceps as well as the triceps. And like I said, I really like to push the upper body, so I do go as heavy as I can to try to really work those muscles. And for me, I know it's been a good workout, that I've timed it well when I can watch one full episode of Young and the Restless. It's not about the pump. It's not about how my muscles look at the end of the workout. It is about how quick I am and no procrastinating. One episode is the goal. Okay, here's my second lower body workout. So I once again have to arrange myself into the machine to get into the hack squats comfortably without bottoming out. It still does a little bit, but it's better than nothing. And again, I'm using the angles to really try to focus on the glutes and pushing into the heels. For the lunges, I am a big baby. I don't like feeling the barbell against my shoulders, so I use a pillow to kind of cushion, but without altering the position of my neck. And for these guys, I'm standing as it's a very short stance to, again, try to isolate the glutes and the hamstrings and not use too much quad. And then back to more sumos, but these ones are a slightly different timing. So very slow on the down, big long hold on the bottom, and then a nice quick up. And once again, I'm leaning a little bit, really trying to think about the glutes, focus on the glutes, press into the heels. Again, I'm usually barefoot when I do these. It just helps me to connect with the floor. And it's all about the mind-muscle connection with these for me. And then the ball and the gym mat, I have to negotiate with my kids to let me have them. They're usually playing some kind of floor is lava game, an obstacle course, and I have to borrow the equipment from them. The ball's half deflated, but I still make it work, and I try not to have any delays and just get right to it. And then there's the loop band that I just purchased from Fitness Depot not long ago. Just trying to always challenge and get a little bit harder every time I go. More kickbacks. These ones I like doing on the bench. It gives me a really good range of motion. It's a little bit to arrange myself into it, but I feel like it works really well. And of course, both sides. You got to do both sides. And then I feel like a lifetime of Highland dancing has given me some pretty strong and nicely shaped calves, but I still like to exercise them and really stretch. Okay, upper body workout number 2, deadlifts. These I usually do without shoes on, and I don't go particularly heavy, but I go heavy enough that I feel it and that it's challenging, and usually it's my grip that gives out, so I have to grab straps. For lat pull downs, I'm really trying to press the weight and to get as heavy as I can, but when I move up into a little bit heavier, I find that my glutes are coming off of the bench. I'm just not able to keep myself down. We don't have a place to put the knees. So definitely trying to figure out how to increase the weight without falling off of the machine. Always trying to go as heavy as I can without losing form. It can be hard when you don't have the nice fancy equipment, but you do what you can with the dumbbells. Rows, I love that stretch you get at the end of the movement when your arms are full. It just feels so good on your back, and it's just a tremendous workout. And of course, I'm sitting on a pillow here. I'm a big baby. I like comfort. I don't want to be anywhere uncomfortable except the muscle that's working. More shoulder work. It's always a challenge to hit the shoulders after I've worked hard already on larger muscle groups, but I do always try to push as hard as I can and really try to make it count. More delt work, of course, really trying to get as heavy as I can with the dumbbells. I remember a time when all I could do was 5 pounds. So it's pretty cool to see that I'm making progress, and it shows in the physique as well, which is spectacular. And then this last movement is a little tricky in the cage. I do tend to hit the ceiling of the machine, but gotta get it done. And those are my workouts. I also mentioned last week that I was going to try to make some significant changes to my scheduling just to reduce the amount of to-dos that I had so that I could get more sleep. And I really did. I'm taking that very seriously. My husband, my mom, my coach, everybody was trying to give me some suggestions on how I can lighten the load or simplify or just be smarter about my time. And I've implemented some pretty big changes that have made quite an impact. So for example, for the last couple years, I wake up as early as I can and try to get my workouts done before my kids wake up so that I can have peace and quiet and some solitude in the gym. But I've decided that there are other things that require peace and quiet and solitude a little bit more than my workouts. For example, my YouTube recap videos. I don't like recording those if you can hear a piano or Highland dancing or just children in the background. So I've rearranged my schedule so that I wake up, I immediately get a load of laundry into the washing machine. I do my cardio. Then when I come up after cardio's done for my snack, I can put the laundry into the dryer and head down back to the basement to record some videos. And if you guys remember a few weeks ago, I created a desk on top of the treadmill. So I'm just really multitasking and feeling on top of all of those kinds of to-dos. And that way the laundry is clean, it's ready to be put away even before my kids have had breakfast. So that's just one small change that's making a significant release of some of that mental energy towards chores. And then you know what? Working out with the kids down there with me is not so bad. I'm gonna be interrupted, the flu, putting clothing on Barbies, having to change to a different television show for them. They get hungry, they need a snack, help in the washroom. It's constant, but so be it. They're watching TV or they're playing games and I just can put my earbuds in and do my own thing. And I just have to try my best to ignore them as much as I can. I'm also trying to reduce some of the things on my to-do list or just get them done once and for all. Like I had broken a dish and I finally just went and found it at the antique mall and replaced it, right? Like things like that that just bug you, just get it done, cross it off the list and throw the list in the trash. Like I'm really making a big effort to reduce and de-stress. Other than those few little minor yet significant changes to my schedule, things have been very steady. My body is responding. I'm getting a lot more sleep. The flu didn't, well, I mean, it helped in me sleeping. I definitely slept. But I have been making some behavior changes, which I think are helping with my stress. And at the end of the day, just helping with recovery. So now I've done my check-in. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. We're going to get some steps with my kids on their bikes, and my husband is home, so we get to go for a nice family outing and just keep on working on my posing. Thank you to all of you guys for chiming in on which aspects of the pose you guys have been liking and which hair color. Having lots of fun reading your comments, so keep them coming. Also coming up, my best friend and I have planned a little getaway trip that I'm very excited to bring you guys along with us for. And even my husband and I are gonna be going on a quick little stay. We're gonna fly somewhere else in Canada, but that's a little bit later in the month. So I will give you more details about that one when we get closer. So that's it for now. I hope you're enjoying these videos. As always, make sure you comment below, ask any questions that you have. I'm gonna do a question and answer for sure. So if there's anything that you're curious about, go ahead and ask away and we will definitely get to those questions. Make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for more recaps. It was another very busy weekend for shows, and I will just be chugging along, working hard, and hopefully no more viruses to hit the family, at least for another week or two. That's it for now. See you next week.